The Canticle of Albion. The dragon. The dragon dreams its many dreams. A myriad of worlds, it seems. One of these we call our home, the fairy land of Albion, where Arthur Pendragon enthroned enjoins his knights at Table Round, where righteousness and faith are wrought. In Albion, from Camelot, Morgan le Fay. Yet treacherous his sister plans, to seize the crown and all its lands, beguiling witch Morgan le Fay, and her son Mordred do betray, the king and all who honour him, unto the ruin of Christendom. Patiently she waits a while, till all go questing for a grail. She seizes opportunity to work her greatest sorcery. On Table Round by witch's art, a spell is weaved of loathsome sort. If dies the king by her own hand, the dragon's ire will raise the land. But 3 conditions must be met, for Morgan to this power get. On Table Round the witch must slay King Arthur, and by his own blade, Excalibur, the fairy sword, that chooses kings to mend the world. If this foul deed she can achieve, by using Mordred to deceive the people while the king's away, and thus all powers good betray. Morgana's evil sorcery will for darkness win the day, against 3 symbols of the light, and thereby end the rule of knights. Excalibur, the first of 3, a symbol for the true and free. The second is the righteous king, of his justice people sing. The third is golden Camelot, where noble counsel there is sought, and from whose throne is justice done, for every creature under sun, and moon and star and tree and spire. But if Morgana works her ire, and king and sword and city fail, the witch's darkness will prevail. With Arthur and his knights abroad, on quest to find the Grail of God, Morgan and her son together, 2 conspirators endeavour to sway the loyalty of those whose fealty was sworn by oaths to Arthur and his knightly court. By guilecraft of the foulest sort, the witch bewitched, bedevilled them, ensnared, entranced, enchanted them. Day by slight degree, her spell undid their loyalty. And as the years did while away, the temptress led their souls astray. The knights return. When Arthur and his knights returned, without the grail for which they yearned, the gates of Camelot were barred, no entry could the king afford. At Mordred's order they were not to set 1 foot in Camelot, for Mordred had become their king. In absence of that knightly ring, the Table Round they once did grace would never more the warm embrace of brotherhood of knights and king be gathered round, their deeds to sing. Now Morgan saw the time was right to slay the king that very night, for weary were the knights returning from their years-long fruitless journey. She perceived the hearts of Arthur, and his loyal knights did falter at the sight of their betrayer, Mordred, who had seized the power. All his subjects, once his friends, to Mordred now their knees did bend. The horns did sound within the halls. All men-at-arms did Mordred call, and forth they issued from the gate, with lance and shield and clad in plate. 100 of the blackguard's knights did sally forth in fury bright, to slay the once and future king, whose noble heart was faltering, and at their head did Mordred ride. With haste to meet the head he'd pried, the crown and kingdom off therefrom, to cleave it from the neck of him. But Morgan warned him not to slay his nemesis afield that day. This warning with severity she bade him swear her solemnly, and thus he swore and swore again, and spoke she curses over him, if he should fail to bring to her King Arthur as his prisoner. His soul she to the pit would send, eternity afire to spend, for the king. Now Arthur and his weary knights drew steel together on this night. Doomed they knew they were, and yet no heart among them did regret the questing and the fellowship, the deeds they wrought. Of songs were writ, of Sir Launcelot the brave, and Percival and young Gawain, Sir Kay, Sir Bors, Sir Bedivere, Sir Galahad, Sir Alimere. These there were, and several more. These brothers who each other swore to love and stand together now, though darkness compassed all around. One land, one king, they shout as one, just as ever they had done. They stood with Arthur and with God, though never faced they longer odds. The battle is joined. While Mordred's host hemmed them in, they formed a circle, all of them, and back to back atop a hill, rang Arthur's horn a clarion call, and every one of Arthur's men did honor earn by count of them, of Mordred's host, whom each did slay, till morning dawned on second day. But Mordred got the best of them, for with him were 100 men, and more he summoned to his aid, 100 more all fresh arrayed. The death of Arthur wounded those who still remained, of Arthur's knights but respite gained. As Mordred planned his next melee, these pious knights did kneel to pray. For fallen Lancelot and Kay, in Arthur's arms did Gawain lay. To God his soul the king did pray, to paradise he speed away. God speed thee, nephew, go thee hence. I shall greet you soon, my lad. I and good Sir Galahad, and Kay and Bors and Bedivere, all these they are already there, but I must to the field return. And so he did, and honor earned. Alas, King Arthur and his friends must but succumb to many wounds, and though their slain a mountain grew, and though that night they but a few stood valiantly and hacked and hewed, 200 men they overthrew, till only Arthur at the last stood standing upright, holding fast Excalibur with bloodied hands. There before him Mordred stands, and with unholy gloating pride he thrusts a spear in Arthur's side, but slays him not because of her, whose curse does Mordred sorely fear. Delivers he to Table Round, Arthur's body there is bound, and by dark ways known but to her, she slays him with Excalibur. Into the blessed table she, and through the body of the king, the blade does bite, and there he died. What followed after woe betide? But Arthur's soul belonged to him, who writes the destinies of men. He joined his knights upon the shore of that green country evermore. The dragon stirs, the dragon dreams its many dreams, a myriad of worlds it seems. One of these we call our home, the fairy land of Albion. And to the dragon I return, for secret knowledge you must learn about this dreamer by whose dreams all things that are beheld in being. When Morgan by her magics would defile 3 symbols of the good, the king, the sword, and Camelot, her power grew, but hubris brought. For dragon dreaming peacefully, stirred in slumber fitfully, Loten to some, or Levitan, by holy book Leviathan, that swimmeth in primeval sea, until the end of history, when Elohim the dragon slays, retrieving all for judgment day. Peace ye dragon until then, in whose belly we must swim. When Morgan dealt that fatal blow, disturbed the dragon good enow, to sunder Albion like glass, and what emerged among the cracks? The other worlds like patches on, a quilt or breeches they were sewn, to her haphazard as it seems. These other worlds of dragons' dreams, and nearly did she break apart, from witches' blow upon her heart. The stars were liquid in the sky, the moon like blood did redly shine. The fear that gripped fair Albion, that sundering day was like to none, that ere before or since has been, to frighten all of Christendom, Merlin and the Green Man. Even as the world was breaking, hope there was of Merlin's making. For this eventuality, the wizard planned contingency. With the Green Man he parleys, the master of the wildlings' ways, whose magics of an older kind had entered not into the mind of Britain men of Albion, who by his reckoning were young. The Green Man by his ancient way, a mist he weaved from land of Fey, to blanket all of Albion, to mend her seams and thereupon, to pacify the dragon's dreams. A myriad of worlds, it seems, have taken root in Albion, strangers in so strange a land. And thence to Camelot went he, the eldest lord of Faery. None could muster will nor might, by word nor blade nor spell could fight the Green Man nor old Merlin wise, as they strode toward their prize. To Table Round at last they came. The Green Man drew the blessed blade, Excalibur from Arthur's coil, Morgana's sorceries to foil. And as they entered, so they left. The sword of kings the Green Man kept, tucked beneath one arm the blade. Farewell to goodly Merlin bade, and vanished into mist did he, the eldest lord of Faery. From whence he came and where he goes, not even learned Merlin knows. New Albion. Know ye now this mystery of Albion's changed history, of her new geography, older maps now on display, now only curiosities, as she was in younger days. For when the mist had rolled away, great fairy woods expansive they, in emerald swaths of green and gold, whose boughs the wildlings call their home, did change the face of Albion, now fairyland and she are one. The mystery is deeper yet, for dragons stirring did beget a land that kindreds three now call their home, though they be strangers all. The Breton men of Christendom, once lords and kings of Albion, whose courtly knights and castles grand a place must find in their changed land, with outlanders of many kind, undreamed of save for dragon's mind. Their lands descend from far-flung stars, like ships at anchor they with ours, and hailing from Pleiades, Orion and Hesperides, they with wonders never seen by Briton man or wildling, metals bright and gems aglow, and sorceries and marvels show. Last not least the wildling, who owes allegiance to no king, whose reverie of stone and tree, and of the earth and of the stream, and song and dancing under moon, by starlight under standing stone, do spin their tales of weal and woe, by firelight their faces glow. Untroubled once by wider world, now hidden fairy is unfurled, and fairyland and Briton man must share this new-formed Albion of times present. Our tale arrives at present day, when timidly three kindreds they set forth to learn what has become of dragon's dream on Albion, a quiet and a peaceful time of meetings between folk benign, beholding new and curious sights, enamored they by these delights. Alas, we must return to her whose hubris made the dragon stir. Woe indeed that sevenfold did Morgan's sorcerous power grow, when slew she Arthur and so by did gain the power for which she vied, and now already she has claimed the crown of Camelot, so named, the dreaded land, its beauty fouled, and horror cursed by Morgan's crown. No longer justice flowing down from Camelot, no trumpet sound, but darkness now and fear abound, devouring kindred all around. And ever does her shadow grow, never her advances slow, never resting till all be submitted to her sovereignty, the coming of Avalon. But hark ye, not all yet is told, this story may not end in woe, for hope there is where heart is true, and Albion was not renewed, only but to fall to her, whose hubris made the dragon stir, by design of Merlin, and by eldest lord of fairyland, contingencies and sorceries, plans were laid to foil she, whose thirst for blood, now sevenfold, would devour all the world. Turn your eyes now to the west, see Avalon out from the mist, and out from legend doth appear, with golden cities shining fair, that graces it, a gentle crown, with light of heaven shining down. From every spire a pennant flies, songs of healing from inside, with feasting in her merry walls, knights of chivalry she calls. All noble hearts and souls alight, assemble here to win the fight. But small in number yet are we, in Avalon's assembly. Alliances there are to forge, between the kindreds if to war. We go to halt Lefay's advance, to overthrow by sword and lance. For Camelot, the horror cursed, the source of Morgan's power first, must be reclaimed for Avalon, before all hope and strength are gone. Go ye, all ye lords and ladies fair, to kindreds three I so declare, by this decree I summon thee, that thou may answer destiny. Go ye now to Avalon, join the fight that has begun. Find their strength and fellowship, for if we are the scales to tip, all who courage have within, and all whose hearts unwavering, must pledge to Avalon the fair, their fealty by oaths to swear, by all that holy is and good, to cleanse the land of evil brood, from Morgan and her traitor son, reclaim the land of Albion, now Merlin and fair Guinevere, in Avalon with counsel here, with hope enkindled pray that you this call to action will pursue.